Welcome to the Hookup. My name is Crochet Zaddy, your host and fellow craft enthusiast, and this is your weekly dose of crafty conversations with your favorite crafty content creators.
Hey friends, just a little disclaimer before we get into the video. My guest has recently announced that they're likely to be changing their name in the near future. I do refer to them as their previous name because this was recorded like a month or so ago, which I have reached out to them about, and they said it's fine for me to be doing so, but in the future things will likely change, so let's just pretend that if you're watching this now or in the future, that we are using their new name, and yeah, if you can't get your head around the idea of people's identities changing, names, pronouns, whatever, grow up. Anyway, on with the video.
And welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of having Emma here with us as our resident guest on the Hookup with me, Crochet Zaddy. Ow. Good start. So in this topic, we're talking about engaging with the community, but it's like a part 2 to the previous episode about crafting drama and everything to do with that. And what I really wanted to start off with was how many people reach out to you in your DMs just giving you random evidence of drama that they perceive as drama? And how do you manage that?
Yeah, so my Instagram DMs, the way Instagram filters messages is just like such a mess, unfortunately. So there are probably a lot of really great things that I've been sent that I just like don't see because they get sent to some folder that I can't really access. So I have an email that people send stories to mostly, which is nice. And I'm working on figuring out an even more succinct way to where people can fill out a form and submit ideas kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I get less than you would think probably. Maybe like one a week, one every 2 weeks kind of thing. Unless there's like a big, like when after Woolen Folk happened, I probably got like 30 messages about that of people sending me things being like, have you heard about this? And, you know, I was like, yeah, I've heard about it. I'm working on a video about it. So yeah, if there's like a big thing that happens like that, then more so. And especially recently it's been less, but at the beginning I was asking for more submissions, and now I have my list. I have a very long list of things that I want to cover. So I'm not so much looking for stories as much as I am like trying to get through my list of things I want to talk about.
With approaching that list, do you try to keep things relatively contemporary and then just fall back on the list as in when you need a video?
I would say it's kind of the other way around, where like I have my list and I have like ideally the next like 5 or 6 videos that I'll talk about. And then if there is something new that happens, then I kind of slot that in ahead of something else on the list. But that way I'm always sort of working on something and working towards researching that. And it's nice because at this point I have several things in progress. So then once I'm ready to move on to the next step on one of them, then I pick up a script that's already like, 60% finished or something. And it's easier than starting everything from scratch every time.
And how do you go about like a developing situation, if you might call it that? Like, do you just start recording what's happening as it's happening and just like checking in on, I guess, Reddit? Is that probably one of your biggest sources for finding a new updates?
Yeah, I would say Reddit, or like checking if it's between people on Instagram. I'm just checking their Instagrams, checking their stories. Making sure I'm like up to date on what's going on.
The group chat also sending things.
Yeah. Or like having people, my friends also be checking in on it. Like, oh my God, did you see this thing? But yeah, I haven't. No, I guess it's not that true. I was gonna say I haven't worked on like a super developing story in a while, but yeah, it's just like keeping tabs whatever ways that I can, and kind of like right before I film, checking to see if there's any other updates that I missed while like putting together the script. Like with my last video, about Joanne filing for bankruptcy, literally while I was filming, like I had already done my check to see if there's anything new, no updates. While I was filming, there was an update that they were exiting their Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And I was like, okay, great. Now I have to like film an update after, and I didn't see it until, I didn't see it until a few days later. So I was like, oh, okay, now I have to like go and check all of this stuff and add the updates. And like, great, I'm glad they're out of bankruptcy. Like, too bad it wasn't like a couple days before, so I could have like really fleshed out a section of the script for it. But yeah.
Because would you return to a video like that? Like, I know how you returned back to Will and Folk and being like, here's the updates. Would you do something like that with Joanne being like, well, here we are again?
Potentially. I mean, yeah, I would say like if they file for bankruptcy again and there's something of note to add, then, I wouldn't be opposed to going back to it. But I think the way that I see most of these is that like I'm making the video in the time that it's happening. And if there's a major update, like with Wool and Folk, where there was, kind of like the contract information with the vendors and the like kind of non-disclosure agreement that they wanted them to sign, that felt like a big enough update to talk about in a video. But, there's updates on all the other stories too, probably. And I haven't checked in with all of those because it's, again, just like what's prioritizing like what story I want to be talking about at any given moment, because it's mostly just me working on them. So there's only so much I can cover.
It just popped into my mind, but do you ever regret some of the things you've put on videos or talked about as a topic?
Probably, like, yeah, I mean, nothing really comes to mind specifically, but like, I'm sure if I watched back through all of my backlog, there would be definitely sentences or sections where I'm like, I don't know about that. Or like, I wish I'd phrased that differently, or I wish I'd been more specific about this, or not included that or included this. But that's just kind of the nature of, again, like putting anything out of like, I'm going to learn more things and I'm going to get more perspective on everything every day, and I'm gonna change my opinions. But there's nothing massive that I can think of off the top of my head of like, oh, I really shouldn't have made that entire video. But I don't know, ask me in a year and I'll
just wondering.
Just no, I don't know, it's an interesting question, and it is kind of something that I am nervous about, of like, I am putting out these, summaries of what's happening, but also like opinion pieces. And so it's kind of inevitable that I'm going to change my mind on something.
Yeah. Because I was wondering this one last night, like, what if one of your closer online crafty friends got caught up in something? Would you do a story on that? Like, how would you approach that?
No, that's a really good question. And it's not something I've really thought about in depth, but like, I think it would depend a lot on the story, or like it would depend a lot on like what they were caught up in. And sort of if it felt appropriate for me to comment on it, or if it felt necessary for me to comment. I mean, like, I have, there's sort of also like different degrees of friendships that I have with people, where there's people that I would say I know very well, and there's people that I have like a professional relationship with. And so that depends. Like, if, I don't know, if you got involved in some sort of drama, I feel like it just depends what it would be and the timing of it, and if it felt like I should say something or wanted to say something more than anything. But it is, I don't know, that is like a tricky thing. I feel like it's inevitable that at some point one of these things is going to come pretty close to me, and then I'll have to figure out like if I'm too biased to talk about it, or if I can.
We won't be revealing all Drew from Drewby Zoo's secret messages and his shady comments because we can't cancel Drew, can we?
No, I don't think so. I think Drew is uncancelable.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway,
Drew was raised by Centerpole yarn, so
Centerpole, that's cancelable.
Did you see his TikTok?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I get what you're on about.
Yeah. Just a reference, a topical reference. If you were a true fan, you would understand.
I am a true fan. I comment on all his videos. So with people sending you messages and things, how do you manage people's expectations of whether or not you'll talk about what they've sent you?
Basically, I think at this point people kind of understand that like I have my own list of things and I have my plans. Um so there's only so much I can do, but I do try and respond to as many of those messages as I can. Sometimes there's just like, you know, too many, or I am not caught up on all my emails and I don't get back to people. But usually I'll respond and just be like, thanks for sending this in. Like, I have a lot of other stuff. Like, I'll put it on my list. There's kind of no guarantee that I'll get to it, sort of thing. And that's just, I mean, that's just true of anything. And I'm trying to get to a point where like, if something happens, I don't have to talk about it. But I can talk about what I want to talk about and what I feel like is important to talk about.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, with any content creator, it's always so much nicer to do what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's just like the way that I'll avoid being burnt out,
And what do you think about crafting influencers? What role do they play in shaping these discussions?
I feel like they can play a pretty big role if they choose to engage with things, because they are influencers and they have influence for a reason, and people, it's sort of this parasocial relationship that you build with these people that like makes you trust them. And so if your favorite craft influencer is, say, I don't know, say there's a fight between two people and they're like, I'm on this side, then that can influence the discussion and the landscape, if you will, of how like things progress. Or if they are posting something that's like, guys, relax, don't, you're overreacting to this or something, then that can affect things as well.
Because is there ever times where you're working on like I keep calling them like developing situations. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah. Is there any time you were working on like a developing situation and then it just kind of like goes silent and you're kind of like, why did I start working on this?
I will say I feel like I've had pretty good luck with discerning fairly quickly if something is going to go somewhere versus not, because there are just a lot of things going on and I could make 5-minute videos and talk about all of them, but I think when I'm going into something and being like, this is going to be something that I'm going to talk about, there are these sort of like ephemeral qualities that I'm looking for in the story as I am parsing through trying to decide if it's something I want to pursue. And a lot of it is like, is there a point that I'm trying to make here? And is there enough to talk about and make like basically like at least a 30-minute video about? And I think that weeds out a lot of things pretty quickly of like, there's a lot of probably smaller, interesting stories that I could do like a quick little look into, but unless it really draws my attention, then not so much. I guess like one of the sort of developing stories where I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough to talk about was the mug drama video that I made.
Yeah.
But that one was just like, that one just felt like, interesting enough that I was like, I can talk about it. And I feel like there's a lot of interesting discussions to kind of roll out from this, of like talking about pricing and talking about like just like etiquette of like posting about someone and someone's product that you've bought and reviewing it and how like what's appropriate to be doing and not. And so that one was interesting in that way, even though there wasn't a ton of back and forth or like updates in the story as there are in some of the other ones.
Because I really like in the Stardew Valley one, I thought that one had maybe one of the nicer reflections on it about this person just put out their first patent test. Like, give them a break. Like, why are you on this witch hunt of this one person who thought they're doing something right, and now people are essentially like yelling at them, being like, you stupid beginner crocheter.
You're trying to scam people. And
you scam artist for doing one mistake. Like, yeah. I don't know, because how do you manage I guess it is the community's negativity in something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's something where I try to step back and get some perspective and talk to people that I know outside of the community about the story. And, I have a few friends that serve as like sounding boards for a lot of these stories where I'll be like, this is what I'm trying to say, and here's sort of the outline of the story, and like, what do you think about all of this? And it's nice to have that perspective as well of like, it seems like people are being a bit harsh on her. And that is just like, that is kind of what happened with that story. But yeah, I would say overall everything, the vast majority of things are very positive, and it's like trying to spend as much time in the positive spheres of the crafting space online and not spending too much time in the negative spaces, because there's going to be negative spaces wherever. And sometimes it's nice to just have those all sectioned off in their own spot, and we don't always have to interact with them.
Because do you feel like your channel's impact has created like not an urgency, but like a want for drama?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think probably in a way, yeah, because like people do like there's something so thrilling about this like developing story of like a back and forth between, oh, she posted this and then like they posted this and then this happened. But I would hope that the channel itself is not encouraging more of that kind of behavior. I would hope, if anything, that it's like discouraging people from doing stuff like that,
That's
because
true.
they don't want to be a part of this like bigger discussion of like, what are you doing?
It's like when people get mentioned on Craft Snark and they're like, what am I doing up there? AKA me like 2 days ago. But like, be like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. With Craft Snark, it's like that's the point of a Snark Reddit, and that's their place to talk about the gripes that they have with things. And it's better for it to be there than on people's pages or in people's DMs.
I guess with that, have you faced much backlash from starting what you've started?
Yeah, I mean, relative to the positive, no, but yes. And most of it has been like private messages or emails, or yeah, mostly emails, honestly. And then one example of people very like publicly kind of talking bad about me, but it's not even really worth mentioning. But that I think
Already
is
know
less
it
to
is.
do with that's less to do with the content itself and more to do with just
You.
their own thing. Yeah, just me existing.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall it's been good. And like anything that gets an amount of traction, I do have criticism, and I just try to not focus on that as much as possible. And yeah, not reading the comments has been helpful, because people saying things even not intending to be rude, of just I don't know. There's things I'm self-conscious about that like people probably don't even know I'm self-conscious about, and then they like hit on that nerve, and I'm like, oh great, now I'm going to be thinking about that for like a few hours. So yeah, the way I manage it is just like engaging as much as I can in like the first few hours of putting out a video, and then letting the comment section sort of go off into where it goes. Yeah.
And so with the future of Emma in the moment, do you think it's going to stay where it is now, going through your list and talking about developing things, or is it going to develop in other ways? Can we see another offshoot, another in the moment, making in the moment? I don't know.
Yeah, what else is there in the moment? No, it's a good question, and it's something that I've sort of been ruminating on for a while. Once you get, I don't know, I once I achieved some of my goals, now I'm like, okay, what am I doing next? Do I have to do something different, or I have to make more videos, or I have to do something? I don't know. But for now, I'm just sort of trying to exist in the state that I am in now and enjoy what I'm doing. And yeah, my list can keep me going for years. Like every month I add more stuff to it too. So I think focusing on that, focusing on, just improving my script writing skills and video editing and finding good video editors and a combination of all that, getting more people involved. That's something that I've been trying to do more recently, of just like writing a skit and having a few other people play the characters, so it's not all me, or having someone like Zach read like a little chunk of text so that I don't have to read so much.
Yeah, I had no idea who I was or what I was reading. I just read the text.
No, and that's kind of fun. Like I kind of like just texting people and being like, hey, you want to read something for me? And then
I was,
putting it in.
I was like, I'm absolutely keen, but it was only until the video I found out that was who I was voicing. And I was like, okay. There's like weird Kiwi Australian accent popping out.
No, but I don't know. I think it's funny, and it's fun to see like who recognizes your voice, and I also just really like getting to interface with more people, because it can be a very isolating workplace sometimes, as I'm sure. So yeah, I think that's sort of what I'm looking at for the future, is like not focusing as much on growth as I did at the beginning, where it was like, okay, I need to get out these videos and I need to get my subscriber count up and I need to do all of this, and really just focusing on, I don't know, each video is its own little thing, and I'm going to put it together and put it out. And if people like it, then great.
I like how you said not focusing on growth, not like you just grew to over 100,000 subscribers within like a couple of months or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would say I was focusing on growth before.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But it's not like the numbers aren't as much of a goal as they were when I started out. And the goal is like just finding stuff that is like fulfilling artistically, and getting my friends involved in any ways that I can, and just like having fun with it and finding interesting things to talk about.
Because you started vlogging on the Made in the Moment channel as well. Like that was a fun little shift from full research, detailed, what's to say, not exploitation, what's the word? Exposés.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing about that is I've probably filmed like the beginnings of 6 vlogs.
Honestly, yes.
And like I should probably just make a compilation of all of them and be like, here's stuff I was doing with no storyline throughout, because I just took a clip and then forgot for 3 days.
I've started doing vlogs now, and I'm working on 3 at the moment, which is me focusing on different projects. But I am taking so long to finish these projects. I know, I don't know why.
I feel like it's cursed. Like as soon as you start filming a vlog about it, you're like cursed to have to work on the project for like 3 months. So I
can't even imagine doing that for clothing pieces.
I have a whole vlog filmed for the cable knit sweater, that like pickle juice, the green one that I made.
Yes.
The
cable.
Yeah, the neon green cable one. I have all the footage is in Premiere. I've started editing it, and it's just like so much. And there's like, I'm like, is this entertaining? It's just me being like, okay, here's the next panel. Like,
I don't know. I
went and did this thing, and I didn't film myself doing it. So now I'm just getting home and telling you about it.
I know. I've been watching a lot of Kelsey's videos and getting inspiration from there, and looking at them like, why is Kelsey so entertaining with her vlogs? But she's also so fast at it all. And actually, we're talking about this in my like Patreon community event, is Kelsey's speed of making anything. When you see her in person, like as we're both experienced, and you're just like, what the like,
it's somehow even faster in person.
Yeah,
like because you see her on the camera, you see her do it on camera, and you're like, yeah, that's fast. And you see like the process of it, and then you sit there in person and you watch her make a granny square that's this big in like 15 minutes, and you're like, literally, how did you do like the blindfolded granny square challenge that we did, where she just like blew us out of the water. She made hers in 5 minutes. The rest, like the next closest person was like 10 minutes, and like it was just incredibly fast. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and so like watching her vlogs, I'm like, how do you manage to keep a topic within each one? So I don't know. Like, I'm the same as you, trying to figure out how the vlogging world works and what people want to see. Is it, do they want to see a start to finish, or do they just want to get like ongoing updates? Like, here's me this week, made lunch. Like,
That's true. I feel like I have gotten really tied to like, oh, my vlog has to be the start to finish of my project, and it's like maybe I should do here's the thing I'm doing, and here are the projects I'm working on, kind of thing.
yeah.
Thanks for listening to us brainstorm. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Anyway, to bring it back.
Let us know if you have any feedback.
Yeah, let us
On
know
our
what you want to hear in our
brainstorming
vlogs. I guess the final things is like, what can we expect from you in the future, apart from more vlogs and more drama?
More drama, yeah. And like, the video I'm working on right now is another like competition show review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I have so much fun with those, and it's like, yeah, it's not drama, but like people are gonna watch it and I'm gonna make it. And if you don't want to watch it, okay, whatever. But like, I need to have these like fun, lighthearted videos where I just like I watched an entire season of a show in the past like 2 days trying to get ready for this. And it's like, oh no, I have to work and watch TV and then talk about it. So yeah, I hope that I can expand into other little adjacent niches as well, where it's like, you know, media commentary. I love reviewing movies and TV shows and stuff. And like, if there's a crochet movie, like I'm gonna find it and then I'm gonna review it. And I haven't found it yet, but like, we need like a crochet challengers or something. Like,
yeah, or even something like, I always want to talk about the influence that programs have on crochet and knitwear at the moment, or like any new programs that come out. You see a lot of knitwear in them and a lot of crochet, especially ones that involve like queer teenagers.
Yeah, like Wednesday.
Yeah,
that vest.
They will turn up in their handmade clothes, and then you'll see everyone copying them. And I'm like, are these shows doing this on purpose?
Yeah, like, no, you're so right. Like, I bet there's going to be something in Heartstopper season 3 that everybody's going to want to make. Like,
yeah,
you need to get some knitwear in there.
Yep, absolutely. And I don't know if this is a new thing or if it's just something I'm noticing now.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I'll keep an eye out for it. And
but anyway, do you have any final parting words for the listeners of the pod?
I guess just keep having fun with your crochet stuff and relax. Like, that's, I feel like the thesis of my whole channel is just being like, look at these people. Why are they so like, calm down. Everyone just like relax, hang out, work on some projects, go outside and look at the sky. It's beautiful.
Touch some grass.
Look at the moon, touch some grass. I don't know. Take a breath, and I don't know if that's gonna do it. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. I literally go to the park and I like put my hands in the grass and I'm like, okay, I'm connecting with the earth. I need to be outside.
So your main advice is chill out and go just be one with the earth.
Yeah, just go like literally touch grass, and yeah, that's all probably that I have to say.
So we'll next see you out in the parks of your neighborhood.
Of wherever, yeah. Yeah. So if you see someone sitting on the grass with sunglasses on and a hat and a pile of yarn next to them touching a tree, that's me, probably.
Anyway, on that note, thanks for listening in, everyone. Thanks for joining me, Emma. Very much appreciate it. Hopefully I'll have you on the pod again sometime soon for potentially another topic. Who knows? But it's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Everyone go check out our socials. Go support us. Because that's important and we really appreciate it. And thanks.
Thank you all for watching. Good
and
night.
Listening. Have a blessed day. Okay.
Bye,
everyone.
Yeah. And nice day. Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening in to another episode of The Hookup. We'll be back again next week for more crafty conversations with more crafty friends. Have a good day. Bye.